No, morning, everyone. Join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful weather, and I just pray for safety for all the county employees as they go out there to do their work today. And Lord, and I thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet and do the county business. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I make a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion, we approve the claims in the amount of $238,026.47.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. And any further discussion?
Yes, just a quick comment on the claims. When they come out, is there any way to itemize like which budget they're coming out of?
It's actually on there in the number code, so that's how we know.
The number on the side.
On the number code? Okay, so on the number code, can we put a label next to it or no? Does that have
I can do that.
possible?
Mhm.
Okay. And then can we see like the budget for the year, but then like how much is coming out? Like where are we at? So it's like if we say we approve,
You want a year-to-date expenditure.
yeah, thank you. Because I'm like,
Well, what we do,
I don't know if we approve it, we don't even know how much money we have left in the budget
what we do
realistically.
get from them each month is the monthly.
Yeah.
It's broken down at the end of the month.
At the end of the month. I just kind of want to see it if it's available in the software. Are you okay with that? If it's a possibility
Yeah.
from the clerk,
If it's available.
if it's available
Sure.
for the year today.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you want to see it more regularly than just monthly, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You have anything else, Danielle, right now?
I do not.
AMR?
Thank you.
Good morning, Don Brooks with AMR. I'll give you the monthly report numbers for the month of February. Blue Mound had 11 calls and 3 transports. Centerville had 7 calls, 0 transports. Lacine had 25 calls, 11 transports. Linn Valley, 8 calls, 6 transports. Mound City, 24 calls, 13 transports. Parker, 8 calls, 4 transports. Pleasanton, 32 calls, 24 transports. Prescott had 6 calls and 4 transports for a total of 121 calls and 65 transports in February. And I was hoping to have more information of our finances for this discussion today, but they didn't get back to us. But I did bring our regional director, Jason Jenkins, and he's been here for this entire 5-year contract and
Okay.
knows all the ins and outs more than I do. So I'll let him talk for a second.
Okay.
Good morning, Jason Jenkins with GMR. And like I mentioned, I'm with the parent company of AMR. So I work closely with Don and the air ambulance service that covers this area as well. So I've been involved with Linn County for, I think, 2013 is when I first started, and we started working through contracts. Historically, they've been for about 5 years at a time. That's kind of just what we've always done, and has been, worked, I think, well for both the county and for AMR. So it's due again in December. So we kind of wanted to get it on your radar that it is coming up, and just get opinions about what you'd like to do. Historically also, there's been some RFP processes that you've gone out for from my recollection, there's not ever been anybody else that had bid on it other than us. So that is how it's been done in the past. So we have other options. I mean, if it's just something that you're interested in extending, we can get the contract together and just change the date on it essentially. I think, one thing that we haven't historically done is put annual increases in there, and then kind of we're showing up sometimes saying, hey, we need more money, or we've even given some back on some occasions. So I think, you might see like a CPI, a consumer price index in language in there. And if there's an increase there, then that would be offset to you. And if not, then we get money back. So I think, just different options for however you would like to do it. But we have about any customizable solution you want. If you're satisfied today, with the number of ambulances you have in the community, and, the supervisor in Centerville, if that's still, if that's still working for you, we don't have to make any changes. And, if you're looking to do something different, then we would want to know that so we could, get you the resources that you want. So
You're saying as of right now, the price would stay the same?
yeah, I think it really would. I mean, we've got, our finance team reviewing that to just make sure, but I don't really suspect any changes. So if we were able to put something like a CPI in there, yearly, we would review it. During your budget cycle, you would be able to plan for that accordingly and not, have some mid-year ask. So
Are there any changes that you've heard requested throughout the years?
I haven't really heard anything that anybody's complained to me about as far as the way we're set up with the Centerville issue. I mean,
I haven't.
years ago, there was an ambulance in Mound City, and there wasn't one in Centerville. And I think, from what I remember, there were some constituents that were upset with that. And that's when we got the station in Centerville. We've always had one in Lacey, always had one in Pleasanton. But a lot of that has been, historically the commission's choice on kind of where they wanted the ambulances and those sorts of things. So I think, from a professional guidance standpoint, I think that you're sufficiently, staffed and have ambulances where you should and going, you don't have too many, you don't have too few. So I think that in your community, it works well.
well, with just like the average response time, that's the time the ambulance is actually there, right? Yeah, that isn't, with you guys being at Centerville, you're usually there quicker than that. But the transporting ambulance, the time's a little longer in District 3 is what I'm saying.
Could be
Yeah.
25 minutes for,
Mhm.
I've waited as long as 30 minutes for a transporting ambulance. But with the system we have in place, you don't just have a crew member there, you have a paramedic.
Right.
And I've got everything, the ambulance has, just they don't have the transport capabilities.
Right.
So what Jason and Dawn and I have always gone by back in the day in the city, it's when ALS arrives, the clock stops on cardiac issues and things like that to start life-saving treatment. But we're only doing transport time, but really, it's when does ALS arrive for us. So it's up to
You're just going to throw one in?
years by myself. The services is the Western District. But I don't think it's from the once they oh, you were a paramedic. Yes, man, well, I'm a paramedic. You start taking drugs, and it does change a little bit.
And as you may or may not know, I mean, care starts the second that someone dials 911. So they're on the phone with the dispatch center getting, instructions from a dispatcher on if there's a cardiac arrest, exactly how to do CPR and those sorts of things. If it's, a significant illness or injury, then we have the system set up where a helicopter will launch at the exact same time, and time critical diagnoses will end up in the city really quickly. So the system works really, really well for what we have for as rural as we are with no hospital in the community. So it's a very good system. living here also, I live in Linn Valley, and I always say, there's no prouder dad moment than when I see my ambulances come in and the helicopter come in, and we hear, that the patients are walking out with no long-term effects many of the times, so I'm comfortable with it, and I'm proud with how they do the work. So
Are you still presenting at 11, or is this it?
No, this is all I have.
Okay. I guess for me, I don't feel like we've really engaged the community as see like the need. And so maybe during this time, that's kind of maybe our focus is just to make sure
you bet.
services that we're providing are accurately serving the people. So
For sure.
I don't think it's necessarily questions I have for you guys to just make sure, but also your input,
And we're always available with coming time. I mean, we're the boots on the ground. So
Yeah.
to speak, for the county. And I love another ambulance. Right now, currently, we are status 0 in Linn County, which means there are no ambulances available. They both got to have 5 minutes of each other. Does that
A lot.
So
Do you want to come to the podium so they can hear you speak?
Oh,
Sorry, they can't hear you online if you're not at the podium. So,
where do we start over?
well, I would just, I don't know, wherever you
State
start.
who you are and where you're working.
Yeah.
And then
Louis Saloy, I'm the Centerville supervisor on C shift. So we have 3 different shifts. So we were just talking about the way we have it set up. It's a pretty good setup. I've been here for 8 years as a supervisor, and I worked as a medic at Station 1 in Pleasanton before that for about a year. But no, the setup is good. But like I'm saying, right now, I mean, just things to know. I mean, I'd always like to increase services. That's my job, is to protect Linn County when I'm here to make sure there's ambulance service provided. So we have 2 ambulances out right now. Now, if a call drops right now, I'm sitting center in the center of the county-ish. I would go respond and I would call in Anderson County if we're that way, Miami County if we're that way, Bourbon County if that way, Bates, Miami County off of the Lacine area. And then if they have an ambulance of, okay. And that's the great helicopter system we have right now. But, so that's kind of my job while I'm waiting for an ambulance to go in there and provide ALS, advanced life support. Paramedics are doctors, EMTs are nurses. Hope
And
that
we do
wasn't.
have the system set up too, where ambulances from Kansas City, in the event that they do reach that status 0 level, we'll send an ambulance from AMR in Kansas City to start migrating this direction.
And that's already happened.
Yeah.
So we were discussing it as I sat down when we went. So our ambulance company in Johnson County, Kansas City, if they have an ambulance available, it's just heading this way down 69 highway. And hopefully if a call drops and they're here, we utilize our own services. And that's the continued level of care I like, because we have a certain level of care we like to provide. And when others come in, now they're providing their level of care. I like ours, but that's my job. I really can't tell the other crews what to do, how to do it. Not that I
are
tell
you
them.
guys in any discussion with any other counties around? I know you have been before, but are you in discussion with any other counties around us?
We have been historically, Allen County we've visited with them. They elected to continue with their relationship with the city and the county and the fire department. But we really are the largest in the state of Kansas. We've got Lindsborg, Kansas, Osborne, Kansas, Topeka, obviously, where we are very large in the state. So I think that, what we're finding is that a lot of these, rural areas have historically been volunteer, and volunteers are just, drying up essentially. So a lot of communities are being forced with what do they do with ambulance service, and don't really have the resources to be able to do it themselves, or don't want to. So that's when they'll see, us trying to help them in those situations.
Dawn, would it be something that you could put together like a questionnaire for your employees that work in Linn County of things that they see a need for?
Sure, I could do that for you.
I don't really know the questions
Yeah.
to ask, but like I've heard you state things
Mhm.
and just why or where the need was or why you thought.
These guys are great for what I call low hanging fruit. If it doesn't
Yeah.
cost money, we get it. If it costs a little bit of money, we usually get it. But like an ambulance, it's expensive. to add an ambulance, but yeah.
How do our response times compare to other counties around?
I was thinking about, I know you guys have a better line on this, but Linn County, I think is doing great. If you look at rural Kansas areas and rural Missouri, we have 3 paramedics for 10,000 residents. And that's 2 trucks with an EMT, but we have 3 stations serving 1,000 calls a year, which because of our hospitals are so far away, like normally in the city, that would be 1 ambulance because back and forth, but it takes our crews from tone time to return time, sometimes up to 2.5 hours. So that's without 1 ambulance. And if another call drops, it's another 2.5 hours. But we have 3 paramedics on staff. If you look around, like Bourbon County has 1.5, 2, and they have more residents and they're busier. We're lucky. I mean, we have it good here. Like the citizens get a really good service for the price.
The supervisor response is the key. I think that makes a huge difference. So
She knows I need lots of reasons.
they handle it well, and they can get care to people quickly and wait for the incoming ambulance. So
Yeah, if within like a month or 2 you can get back with any suggestions from each station that
Yeah.
they would like to
do
see.
you want to set a date just, or do you want me just to?
my calendar go. That was right here.
Okay.
Somebody took it.
Lost your calendar.
Somebody took it. How about
No work order. No, right.
April 14th?
April 4th.
Is that okay?
Yep, let me make sure I'm not out of town or something. Nope, that's good.
It doesn't have to be anything
Yeah.
fancy, but just kind of want to see comments from each station and
I can.
Bring a grain of salt when you're a paramedic and EMT, what they want.
You ask for what they want.
need to.
What'd you call it, Jason? Dream lists and stuff?
Dream list,
There
okay.
is a difference between wants and needs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the right answer.
Right. We can filter through some.
I'm good. I don't have any other questions.
I don't either.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Randy, you want to come on? I'm going out of order a little bit, but we're going to get this straight. We've talked to the clerk, so I'll just go with you.
Morning, Commissioners. Randy Hagwald, Linn County Emergency Management, Rural Fire. Last week I sent out call totals. We had 16 total calls, brings our yearly total up to 89. We're kind of ahead of schedule where we are, has been the last couple of years as far as number of calls. We've ran quite a few this year. Our call breakdown was we had 13 wildfires calls, 2 EMS assists, and then 1 mutual aid assist to Miami County for a grass fire. That's our weekly call breakdown.
We had some mutual aid yesterday come into Linn County to us.
Yeah, we also had mutual aid come in. We had Anderson County and Bourbon County for a fire down on Ferris Road yesterday. So it was a busy day yesterday. I think out of those 16 calls, 11 of them were yesterday alone. So it was a
I've
busy
seen
day.
there was a lot of fires everywhere.
Yeah. That is all I have this week, unless you guys have questions for anything.
You have anything?
I don't have anything.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Chastity?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question for you in regards to, I've had several people reach out to me and ask about some grants that have been available previously. And I just want to confirm, we had an e-community meeting last Tuesday, and it was also brought up to me at that time as well. And I just want to confirm that there are still daycare grants, 4 of them at $250 each. Are we still doing that?
Do we know where that money came from?
It was in my budget from the previous budget from my predecessor that was within the budget, that it was like budgeted into my
Do
budget.
you know how much we have in that budget for daycare?
The $1,000.
$1,000, we got 4.
Yes. And then the summer youth employment grant of $12,000 is also budgeted in there for that as well. And I just want to make sure that we are good for that.
Well, I think I'm good with that.
Okay, perfect.
People use the youth employment. I mean, I think they've had more and more people since I've been here that's.
And I'll come back at another meeting after I work out some details, but Sean had a great idea this morning, and I'll talk about that at another meeting in regards to a summer youth employment grant for here.
Do you know how many daycares we have in Linn County?
I'm personally aware of 2 right now, but there could be more.
Do you
No,
know-
there's 3 now that there is currently.
How many people applied last year for that?
I did
How
see
many?
1, 2, so now I'm thinking of 4 that I can think of. And I know 2, I did see their application. That's how I came across this, was I'd
There's
seen
one
2.
right south of me, 1.5 miles.
Oh,
That's,
so I'm not really sure. What are you implying?
I was just wondering if we can look to see how many daycares we actually have registered in
Okay.
the county and make sure we're reaching out to all of them. And then how much, I mean, if we only had 4, if we're giving out 4 grants, but we only had 5 daycares, why wouldn't we reach out to all 5
Sure.
and
Okay.
and increase it?
If they register, where are they registering?
It'd have to be under the Kansas Department of, wouldn't it be under the Secretary?
So not necessarily with our county, but with our state. Is that what you're implying?
Yeah, there'd
Okay.
be something with the state of Kansas, I believe.
I will see what I can find in regards to that and report back then about
doesn't
that.
the health department take care of something on the registrations of daycares?
I
Someone does.
actually don't know.
I'm not sure either, but I will reach out to Amanda and ask her about that as well. So,
So on the committee, were they in favor of?
oh yeah, absolutely. They wanted to continue it. I had brought it to their attention that somebody had reached out to me, a recipient from a year previously that had received that and said, is there another grant? She uses it to purchase wipes and extra things and that sort of thing, and was getting low and was like, oh, I used that money last year to purchase this. And so I brought it to the e-community board and they were like, yes, that's something that's been supported in the past. And my question was, where was that money? And they said, we thought it was in your budget. So I went back in, looked in the budget, and yes, it was there. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't know if this was something that had to be approved by the commissioners or if this was something that was just approved by our.
My
the
only
community board.
concern was just, are we reaching every daycare? Because it's the same person every year
Right.
applying and receiving it every year, the 2. That's my only concern. Are we reaching everyone? Are we putting it on the website? Things like that. Like,
Well, maybe if we can find where the list is of the registered daycares in Linn County, then we can reach out
Sure,
to all of them if we get it, if we can find where the list is.
correct. And I will do that. I will dig into that a little bit and find that. And then the summer youth program, you're good for that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I saw one that there was a business spotlight program. I will say I can't find anything that states that there was a business that was quote unquote spotlit at any point, but there was a $600 grant that was provided for that. So I just was going to clarify, I guess, Jim, since you're the only one here, do you remember anything about that?
That one.
Okay.
I don't mean that it wasn't there, but I just.
Okay.
remember.
And there's a budget for that. I mean, it was budgeted for that, but I just wanted to know, I couldn't find a whole lot in regards to that. So I'll dig into that a little bit more. I did attend a Chamber of Commerce meeting in another county, and they did do a Business of the Year award at the end of the year in December. And I don't know if this is something similar to that was done or not, but I'll dig into that a little bit more as well and see what I can figure out about that.
Okay.
the first,
Sure.
second one you were talking about, how much was that?
$12,000.
1,000
Mm-hmm.
That's
you know-
$1,000 each, isn't it, or
for 12 businesses?
I don't know if it was broken down that direction or not. I just know that they would pay up to they would pay whatever they were going to pay. We would reimburse half of that.
I think there's a limit on it, I believe.
Correct.
I may be wrong about
Yes.
1,000, but I thought,
But I know it was up to 30 hours per week. And from what I could see, there was only maybe 2 businesses that reached out for that last year. So I don't
so
know.
for the youth I think they had like 8 or 9.
Okay, well, I could only find 2 applications, so you're right, there very well could have been,
There's
but
more than
more.
that for that.
Okay.
I think they actually had more people apply, and then the economic development has to go through and
Decide,
on a
okay,
point system somehow and decide who gets it.
okay.
Can we bring back, before we say yes to all this, the application for the daycare grant and the application for the youth employment, so we can kind of review that? Or do you want?
I'm not sure that that's your
It's the economic.
job, it's economic development, or I mean, the e-community boards thing to do. I just wanted to make sure that within the budget aspect of things that you approve for that.
That's
The-
who's done it before.
yeah. The e-community board will receive those applications and they will review them, and as Jim said, used a point system, whatever, and they will approve whatever is there. So you guys just, I believe, need to approve that, you'll continue that within the budget. And that I'll bring back technically in April or June, whenever you guys
Once
approve that.
pick who it is, I think you bring it to us.
Correct.
We approve.
Finalize the approval of that, yes. Yeah. It'd be similar to the housing incentive grant that was posted, and all the applications are in, and they'll make those decisions on March 11th, I believe that is. So, I just have, the other thing is just a reminder, when I'm finished here today, I'm going to be down at the 4-H building setting up for our YEC event that will hold tomorrow. If you could be there, we would love to see you, at least stop in. We have a guest speaker at 9 a.m. Of a business owner here in Linn County that's going to share some things with the students, and then the students will have their things set up, and the judges will come in, do their judging. Our trade show time frame is from 11:45 until 1 p.m. And so that's where people can come in and purchase items that the kids may have for sale, share their events of everything that they've done, and then it will be over by 2 p.m. So, and just a little FYI information in regards to that. We don't have a ton, and we only have really one school that's participating. We have one business from another school participating. But I'm working on being a little more transparent with the communication. I want to next
We
year in
had
the fall.
one school reach out this year. Huh?
Pleasanton has 7 and Prairie View has 1 business. Jayhawk has none at this point, but I looked for that to change in the future. I'm going to do a little better job of communicating prior to starting in September, maybe doing some demonstration with some kids in the past that have been involved in this, and hopefully enticing a little more involvement. So. The last thing I have is that I attended the CDBG Roadshow in Chanute last week. I have some information to share with some businesses. I'm working on trying to figure out the best way to do that. There's definitely some Main Street grants available. There is some rehab grants available. Tim Parks from that group sent me some information, and I'm trying to get that all compiled into a nice manner to get out to those businesses. And I'm going to work with Matt Kasner in regards to, he has started I think it's called Linn County Live, that has every business in Linn County listed, and compile an email group that all of that stuff can be sent out as I receive it. So they are getting it as well. So just wanted to let you know about that. And then the last thing I have is I'm requesting 5 minutes for for trade secrets. When that time comes, when you go into executive session, I would like 5 minutes for trade secrets. And then if you have no other questions, that's all I have.
Yeah, man. 5 minutes for trade secrets. Okay. Well, thank you, Chastity.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Kent, you have anything? Or? Okay. That's good. Let's see. Sean, is Jesse here? Or? Okay. Okay.
On my notes, I don't know if that's happening this morning. I had a fleet management update from them to come in.
Wasn't that next week?
I thought it was on the 10th.
I think it's the 10th is what I thought.
Okay. State Historical. I got the first account set up and the submission for the clerk's floor to be reviewed. And then I met with Randy, and after the meeting today was going to put in the gazebo, and quite possibly the Baskerville site. But Randy's unavailable today due to a family incident that he has to help manage. So we're at the point where I've got the floor put in, and we'll see how long that first process is to get notification back so we can start those repairs. Next thing I had was opening mowing bids. While you're opening those, you may notice that Parker Senior Center, due to a discussion when we started to put those out, are not on those bids. If we choose a company and the senior center is not transferred to the city, we will have to make arrangements to add that to the cost.
Where are we at with that? With the Parker? Did we talk to Parker about taking?
I believe they're waiting for some utility bills and their governing body to review it.
Okay.
When were these sent out?
It should have been sent out 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Can we update the bidders' information to the correct person? It says Jessica Hightower on here.
I'll look for them. Yeah.
What, you have the actual bid? Okay. You have a total on there as far as,
$30. Well, yeah, I don't.
I can read this one up. Mine's from Scarecrow Farm Lawn Care for a total of $625 per mowing. I take it. It's for all the Blue Mound, Centerville, Lacine, Mound City, Pleasanton, and the airport.
That is not how this one is set up. Is that bid form something that they should have submitted?
I
Or
don't
is
know.
that something they made up?
This,
I would have to read mine off individually. Per mow, per place. It's all different. Do you want me to
yeah,
calculate it up?
I'll
Or?
just go ahead and read it off and then he can.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll compare
then
that.
we'll compare
All
what-
right, so Blue Mound, do you want the yearly or per service?
Per per service is what I.
$30 per service, area 1 for Blue
How
Mound,
much?
30.
30, okay.
Area 2 for Centerville is $200
Okay,
per service. Area 3, $115 per service. Mound City, Area 4, $450 per service. Area 5, $40 per service. Area 6 for Pleasanton, $300 per service. Area 7, Linn County Airport, $200 per service.
And who's that from?
This is Hartman.
Hartman?
Hartman.
Okay.
Um,
Now, we do have a list of exactly what's required of them on each mowing, right? I mean,
Yeah, a list and a map, and then,
that's in the contract, I guess.
and I will go back and
here too.
Okay.
pull all that and check those prices against one another for the mowing.
1335. Okay. That totals $1,335 per mowing, so. Okay.
The next one I had for you was 3 bids for dust control.
Oh, need a letter opener.
Got one somewhere.
I wrote it down. Like, I need. Too late.
Wait for it. Well, my bid's from Home City Grain. Let's see, Home, Kansas. Bid price per gallon, $1.37 applied. The demurrage after 2 hours is $100. They have a subcontractor's Wheels Incorporated.
My bid's from Scottwood Industries LLC out of Overland Park. And with a 2,500 gallon minimum, it's $1.79 per gallon delivered and applied. For the 4,300 gallon minimum, it's $1.48 per gallon delivered and applied.
This is from, let's see, Platte River Dust Control, Llewellyn, Nebraska. Price will be $1.72 per gallon supply and applied to the county roads at a rate determined by the county. The delivery rates per order would be 4,500 gallons. The trucks are equipped with Raven control system that can apply up to 20 feet in one pass on county roads.
A location cost summaries should have been sent out. If they weren't, I apologize. Joyce was sick late in the week. Service request received from 1/1/25 to current, 53, 15 open, 38 closed. Service requests received this week would have been 8 received this week, 7 remain open. See open items below. Todd
doesn't always close his items as he does them. Some of them are done already, but this is what's open on our end. Mound City, we removed snow plows and spreaders and washed the spreaders. The blades have been out spot fixing roads. We have rotated RE 321, a 12H, and RE 323, a 120M, and RE 322, 140M graders to Mound City for service. Cat serviced 321, 323, and Craig will be complete with the service on 322. We installed the entrance on Devlin and 1600 for Aches, and will return to full duty 227. We have replaced object markers and down signs this week. We have replaced a crossroad tube on 1350 at Gwen Road on Friday, the 28th. RE 16.1 has been inspected, and custom truck has emailed Craig with the deficiencies. This, by the way, is the bucket truck. Normally, it's a list of small deficiencies each year, hose couplers, small leaks, and/or signage. We're working on now getting that rectified, getting the truck certified and sent back down to us. My plans for next week are to get back fixing the entire sections of road. They should be dry enough not to make a mess out of the road. I would also like to start clearing bridges and low water crossings with the excavator. Pleasanton, we removed the plow and snow spreader from the truck, washed up the trucks and spreader. We have had some air leaks on our dump truck that we are working on. We built plates for the repairs that needed to be done on Snyder Bridge. Then we helped replace the guardrail on Snyder Bridge. Thursday, had one of the blades out working. Todd and Franklin assisted on Snyder Road Bridge. Both blades will be out Friday working on the roads. Todd will be hauling rock for them. I believe you may have some photos on that Snyder Bridge Road project that were sent to you. We removed plows and salt spreaders in the north shop. Got the trucks and the spreaders washed up. We assisted in fixing Snyder Road Bridge, installation of the guardrail, removal of the cement roadblocks, and hauling equipment to and from the job site. We had blades out working the roads and trucks hauling rock. One dump truck had some minor wiring issues that will be fixed on Friday, the 28th. All blades should be out working the roads the rest of the week. Transfer landfill station. I need to update you on the lease purchase and where I'm at. I'm trying to get some answers on the lease purchase process and how to go through that process and still make it within the boundaries of our purchasing policy. Also, as an addition to this, over the weekend, we had a small fire at the Lacing compactor site. My understanding, it was inside the container and that the operator was able to put it out. Fire responded, and Al is doing the reporting at this point, but operations should not be impaired whatsoever at that site. We had Randy scheduled for the park as well to speak on the cabins, but he again is not here. Nothing for noxious weeds, maintenance. Randy was also scheduled to speak on the gazebo. He and I spoke. I believe he's got enough of an operational plan. I can make a project out of that with the state and start the process of having it reviewed. Signs and transportation had nothing. And I will need executive session for non-elected personnel and for 5 minutes, and executive session for legal for 5 minutes if you're available.
Yeah, Mark will be back over here in a little while, so we can get you in with the
Okay.
legal. So you said 5 minutes legal, 5 minutes non-elected?
That's correct.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it for
You
me.
have anything?
I don't have anything.
Okay, thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Right on time, Sheriff. We didn't give you a report. We didn't have it, so as far as your, is it? Earlier, I didn't have it.
Right on time.
Okay. You see it? You to it?
Yeah, it came in 9:08.
You want to read it?
Sheriff's Report, March 3rd, 2025. Total prisoners 61, 15 released this past week. Total prisoners in 59. Total farmed out 2. Total farmed in 50. Total 911 calls 74. Total jail contacts 4,277. Total calls for service 623. Total civil service papers served 22. VIN inspections 8. New cases open 21, cases closed 3, vehicle crashes 4, SRO activities 93, bailiff contacts 137, livestock out 2.
Oh, we're gonna need 15 minutes with you, right, Sheriff?
Yeah.
A non-elected person. I'll tell you what, we'll just, you want to just go ahead?
Did he need legal or are we good on that?
We're good. Non-elected.
So, yeah, I'm okay with going.
Okay, I make a motion, we go into executive session with the sheriff for 15 minutes for non-elected personnel with you three, with, and Danielle. So with Sheriff Akes.
And our secretary, Sean Bush.
Okay, and then we will have 5 minutes after that, we'll go into executive session with Sean for 5 minutes for non-elected personnel. Then we'll have 5 minutes of trade secrets with Chastity.
And then come back out for public comment.
Yeah, then we'll come back out for public comment. So that'll make 25 minutes total. We'll be in executive session, so we'll return at 10:13. That's my motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Going with you first again, Sheriff. There was no action from executive session and we need to extend, but we're going to go ahead with public comment right now. Do we have any public comment?
Emily? No. Nothing today?
We'll close.
So when we go back in, can we add Chris and Nix to that? Because
Yeah.
they're already here.
I think so.
They can have a text delivery.
Can't we do that? Just add to it.
Do you,
I'll close public comment.
yeah, oh, sorry. Yes. So since they're on a tight schedule, do you want to do the, what do you have, 5 minutes? I'm
We
sorry.
had 5 for, need to extend for 5 minutes for Chas.
Mhm.
I'm at the wrong page here. Just a minute. Need to extend for the 5 minutes for Chastity for trade secrets, and then 5 minutes with Sean for non-elected personnel.
And then 5.
And then we need 5 minutes for Sean for legal. So we can do, he's here, so we can do that for 15.
And then we need to add 10 minutes with legal
Yeah,
and Danielle.
10 minutes.
And then 30 minutes non-elected personnel with IT department.
We'll come back out and do that one. It's okay, I think. We'll get through this and then see where we're at. Good.
IT has a tight.
They have a
schedule.
tight schedule.
Oh, okay.
That's what they're. they need
You want to go ahead and do theirs now then?
That's what I was saying. Go ahead and add them to this and then they'll come in first.
Okay. So we're gonna go 30 minutes with IT for non-elected. Right?
Yes.
Okay. 30 minutes with IT for non-elected. And then we'll have 10 minutes with legal with Danielle and Mark. And then there'll be 5 minutes legal with Sean, 5 minutes non-elected personnel with Sean, and 5 minutes trade secrets with Chastity. So that'd be 15, 25, 55 minutes.
55 minutes.
And we'll return at 11. That's my motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No action from executive session. So, let's see, did we get?
I didn't get my.
Was Jason coming over here today? Jason Parker?
I can ask him to come over. I don't think he
I
planned
don't
on being
think he
here.
needs to necessarily.
We still got your 10 minutes for legal, right, Danielle?
Correct.
Okay.
Sally Vaughn called this morning and needs to reschedule.
Okay.
For her position.
She's essentially wanting to ask the commissioner's approval and permission to start receiving bids to sell the Manti School, the old buildings.
Well, knowing that information, I've asked, and I don't know if this is you or Gia, I don't know. I really don't know who this would be, but I would like to have a list of all of the township properties that we own. That would be like a list of, like in Valley Township, like the cemeteries in Valley Township that we are maintaining. And then also the schoolhouses or whatever we're maintaining in that particular
In each
township.
Township.
I need to know. And I didn't know what she was asking for, but
So we
I
actually
hate
own
that. I hate that.
Essentially, if I'm recalling our conversation correctly, it's a tax issue. They're gonna have to increase their taxes if they don't sell this to offset the obligation of it.
There shouldn't be taxes on the schoolhouse. Why is it not?
Unless they're wanting their taxes for their cemetery district.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe that's
She'll have more details.
tied together, I don't know, but if it's all tied together, maybe they're thinking more, they need more money for their cemetery district.
Every cemetery district needs more money because we aren't maintaining what we even have. But I don't know how I don't know how you get the numbers as well. Like, how do you get the numbers for each township on what they can use for mowing or electric or propane for the schoolhouses? Who reviews that? Because in the past, David always said, "Oh, it's the township. They bring it," and then
They bring him the numbers and he put them in, is basically what happened on the townships. I mean, he'd deal with the townships to set up their budget.
Correct, yeah. And my office has informed me that we start making those appointments for me to meet with each one of them in June.
Yeah, because our budget time starts about it. Yep, I'm sure that's right. So we'll start getting budget.
well, for next week, before she comes in, if we could just get the list of all the properties in each
Sure, I'll get that.
township and the cemeteries that they're maintaining,
Okay.
if it's an easy report.
I will do my best.
Yeah,
Sure.
I know. I don't know where, that's a lot of information to get, but,
So we need,
do you want to ask Jason? Sorry, I left mine in the room. Do you want to have Jason come over here, or do you want me to make a motion after we come back out regarding the interims to take Pam's place right now?
I don't care, whichever way it's,
Do you want to discuss pay next week with Jason?
yeah, I'd rather wait and see
So-
what with Jason Hightower when he gets back. Just,
Could we do back pay if we didn't make a decision on pay today?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to move Jason Parker as the interim GIS and mapping director. No pay increase at this time,
effective today.
effective today.
And then we'll determine that next week when we have
I
all three
think-
commissioners
I think that'd be,
and we can
best.
back pay.
Yeah, today's the first day of the pay cycle, so it'll be established before payroll runs for that.
that's my motion.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So motion is, I make a motion to go back in executive session with Danielle for 10 minutes for legal. And then I also want 20 more minutes for legal with Mark Hagan.
I'll second.
So it's a total of 30 minutes and we'll be back at 11:45. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Was no action from executive session. I guess we do too. We do have it. You need,
Oh,
no, I'm sorry, we do have action.
Commissioners, we had a discussion during executive session where an email and a letter were received by an outside attorney who reviewed some actions that a previous director of public works took to approve a minor plat near Parker. The 10-acre tract was split into 5 individual lots, and then they were sold to individual homeowners. Do I get those facts correct?
3 of the 5's been sold.
3 of the 5 been sold,
Last I know.
two remaining. And some homeowners in the area objected to that and questioned whether that procedure that was followed to subdivide those lots was in conformance and complied with Linn County's land use regulations. The attorney, I reviewed it as a county counselor. I suggested to the commission, and they exercised this option to get a second opinion on whether the previous director of public works, director of planning and zoning had complied with the regulations, and the answer from that attorney came back that it did comply with these regulations, and that the reason for it is it's a way for homeowners to expediently subdivide their property that they otherwise weren't using and sell lots if that's what they chose, as long as it conformed with the zoning of that particular property. Evidently, the homeowners that communicated their displeasure were unhappy. The commission took the extra step to have a second opinion done. And if I can answer some questions from the commission, I will. Otherwise, I think that closes the matter, unless the commission wants to have the current planning and zoning director take the regulations, particularly this provision, which allows for what are called administrative minor platting, and review it and see if it conforms with the will of the people going forward.
I'd like to go that direction, but I just have a question on that. Does that mean it would need to have, all of the regulations would have to go back to a public hearing if we change anything on our current planning and zoning regulations?
There would have to be announcements. There would have to be an opportunity for it. I'm not sure if there would be exhaustive public hearings on it, but if there's going to be changes to regulations that this commission approved and that the entire public bases its decisions on, they would have to know that there's been a change.
Well, I would like to send it back to the Planning and Zoning Commission they may have other things they want to change when they open it, but to look at this specific subplat, and see if it is something that they feel that when we did the revision, this was the way that the county felt about the revision.
Yes, sir. What I think the commission can task the planning and zoning director to take the regulations back for a review from the Planning and Zoning Commission, have public hearings if that's what is necessary, focusing on a specific section, in this case, the minor and major platting provisions in there, and see if they still, going forward, are what the county wishes to do. If not, make the appropriate recommendations back to the Board of County Commissioners, and they can change the regulations. Again, all of this would be in public so that people purchasing land here would know what the regulations are.
So what do we do? Do we need to get with Kent, or do you?
Yes, sir. We can get Kent in, and could be today. I can communicate the will of the commission if that's the decision from these commissioners.
Well, I agree with that. I think it needs to go back. There's also a few others that I'd like to have the planning and zoning commission visit as well regarding battery storage and data centers in Linn County. So I know that if we're going to go through the process again on revising anything
Yes.
in the planning and zoning regulations, I do believe you have to go through the public hearings if.
Yes.
We do have to change it.
So I
You
just
have to
feel
go through
like
the
Yes.
if we're gonna do that, we need to address everything. So
Good.
have the commission review the entire document one more time and bring back to us possible changes, and then we would address it at
The
that
planning and
point.
zoning commission. Yeah.
Could I recommend that you make this an agenda item for, if not next week, the week after, whenever you can, find time, and then bring the planning and zoning director in and make clear what sections of they're going to look at the entire document, but what specific sections you want planning and zoning to address, invite public comment on, and then if there's changes, what recommendations they have back to the Board of County Commissioners.
We
So-
can add that planning and zoning to the agenda next week, just to direct Kent that Tuesday, the 11th, will be a meeting.
Is Ken here still, or is he, could we have Kent come in now and just?
No reason why
Are
you
you-
couldn't. Yeah.
Well, I don't care, but I think we could just lay it all out there
Next week.
Monday with him coming in on the agenda with Jason here. We'll have all those three that I have concerns with on the current regulations, and then direct him on what we're asking the commission to present. But I just know that the meeting would be the 11th, so
Good timing.
we'll
So-
just do it Monday.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
10 minutes executive session, non-elected with Sean West.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
I'll make a motion. We go in executive session for 10 minutes for non-elected personnel with Sean West and the two commissioners. Will return at 12:03. That's my motion.
I'll second.
But moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Make a motion, we extend with Sean, non-elected personnel for 5 minutes.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Sorry.
Did you bring lunch? Did you bring us lunch?
Yeah.
You did, all of us? I said, did you bring us lunch? Oh, I thought you said you brought it. No action from executive session. Anybody have anything else?
Anything?
Okay, and you said that Sally will be here next week to talk about that. Is that what we set up for the?
I can confirm with her that she wants to reschedule for next week, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.